Okay, this is my attempt at making a tutorial for how I do my curly hair. This would work if you have wavy hair and if you have any type of curl. So I have kind of baby fine curly hair, and I used to straighten it forever until I moved to Hawaii, and I started just kind of letting it do its thing. And you want to make sure that your hair is completely saturated and wet. I got out of the shower a half hour ago, so it's like starting to dry. So I am just saturating it before I begin the process. This is just one of those continuous spray bottles. You can get them on Amazon, or you could literally just splash water in your hands and put it in your hair. So you want to have wet hair, and I use Treluxe Products. So they have this one right here. This is a leave-in conditioner called Untie the Knot. It's kind of heavy, so for my hair, I either don't use it, or if I'm in a drier climate, I'll use a tiny, tiny bit, like literally like that, tiny, tiny bit. If you have thicker hair, you can handle a lot more, but I just like to moisten the ends. Moisten, however you say it. And then that's the first step that I do. And then there's two different types of gels. There's a hard gel and a softer gel. If I'm just gonna wash and go and not really style, I'll use this one. It's called a serum, and it's made with aloe. And then I also have this hard gel that I use if I am about to go on stage or to a gathering that is kind of fancy-ish. If I wanna like really do it up, this is the one. Okay, the next thing I do is I put, here we go, Soothe and Restore Mousse. Not everybody's a mousse person. You kind of have to try things out and see what works for you. I like mousse because I feel like it really gives me a lift in the root and keeps the frizz down, and my hair is baby fine and frizzy. So I do mousse mostly at the root, and then I kind of rake it through the whole thing. Usually just like one pump is good for me. If you have thicker hair, maybe 2 pumps. So far we've done the mousse and the conditioner. And then we have this serum. And I'm gonna put kind of a lot, like this glob right here. That does not look right. And then that's gonna go all over my hair again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section it off and just leave the bottom part out for now. And this is kind of like my quick way of doing it. Some people will take their time and clip it in different places, and I'm just like, I just do one. My hair's so fine that I can clip it all up, and even a small clip if I wanted to. So now I'm gonna use the hard gel and this amazing brush that I don't know how I lived without for so long. It has these little teeth on the edges, so it clumps your hair. So I used to think, do not brush your hair. I didn't have a brush. I never brushed my hair at all, because with curls, you want them to be in clumps. So you want like the pieces to, see, like that's already too brushed out. You want them to dry in clumps, and then you kind of fluff it up at the root. So, tools that I use. Best diffuser ever. It's easy to travel with because you don't have this like bulky hair dryer and diffuser attachment. This is just a diffuser. There's no other part to it. You can't use this as a normal blow dryer. And it's from Bedhead, I think, and it is like between $30 and $40 on Amazon. I actually have one here and one in Hawaii, and same thing with this brush, one here, one in Hawaii, because then I don't have to bring them. And then another thing I use is this is it not microfiber? What is it? It's like it's one of those towels that has like no, I don't even know what you call this thing. I'll have to look it up online. But you can also, if you ever like crop a t-shirt, you can keep the extra piece of t-shirt, and that's a great thing to use too, because you don't want a towel with normal fibers to be like pulling on the strands when you are plopping, they call it. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm going to Make sure that this piece of hair is very saturated. This is just the bottom of my hair. Make sure it's nice and wet. You need wet hair to clump it because that's the only way it's gonna stick together. And then a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. So I'm doing the hard gel, and the hard gel I apply section by section. So now that that's all done, I go like this and make 2 different sections. And take this piece right here. I'm not good at this right now. So when you comb through, you go like that and you pull it and see how it clumps it into 4. And then I kind of go like that so that they get clumped. And then the second section, and you do it away from the head, like this, and then I kind of shake it, and then it clumps it. Other side. So that's that part. My hair's so fine and cute. There's not much of it. All right. So then I do this section right here, and I kind of just grab it like that. I still have the back clipped up and this side. So I pretty much do mine in like 5 sections. So now I've got this whole side right here, not much hair. I'm gonna put a little bit of this hard gel. This is the jar. Make sure it's nice and saturated and kind of wet so that the clumps stay. Like sometimes it's so saturated that you can hear, it's like, that's a good sound. And so I will section it like that. And just kind of wrap this piece up here so that I can take this piece I just had. Okay. I'm gonna do it two different sections. Basically just making sure that you pull away from the head along the edge of the brush, and see how it's already starting to just do its little curly thing. Up and out. Let it go. Shake it a little bit. Starts to do its little curly thing. That's another section done. I have like no hair. Oh, I missed this piece right here. It's my first time making a tutorial, so just bear with me. All right. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Super saturated. And then if you feel like there's a little bit too much in there, you take this, it can be a t-shirt, but this is, I'll put a link to it. It's like one of those dry fast towels like that you'd bring camping or something. But you can just grab the pieces and crunch up on them and it'll get rid of some of the moisture. So, there we have half the head. There we are. And then I'm gonna do the other side. So right now I just kind of have like my mohawk area still clipped up. So right now we got like a bunch of spaghetti noodles basically. Now I'm gonna do the back section of my head. So I'm just gonna kind of grab this back section right here. And I'm gonna put this front section back up in a clip. I kind of twist it like that so that when I lay it down, I can pick it back up. This is probably the messiest way to do it. There's probably way better ways, but this is how I do it. So now I've got this big back chunk. This is actually kind of a thick piece, but hard gel through the whole piece. A little bit of saturation. Get that baby nice and wet so that it will stay with the clumping. So then I'll just take the bottom part of it, stick my finger through. I've got this nice bottom piece right here. Underneath, pull out, shake. Okay, so now we just have this top part. And this is kind of interesting. You kind of have to go with whatever your natural flow is and how you style your hair. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I take this big piece at the top here. Get it super wet. Yeah. Super, super wet. Get some of this hard gel. Get it all the way from root to tip. Oh, I grabbed a piece from down here. Okay. So I'll do one more, like right where the crown of the head is. Anything behind that, I'll just clump it and throw it back there. And then these pieces, I kind of section mine. I take a little corner piece like that and kind of put it diagonal because I want it to sit covering my cowlick. But you basically just section it the way that you want your hair to fall. Like I want mine to fall kind of like waterfall down the back, but a little bit to the side, so diagonal. If that makes any sense. And then I have this middle piece right here left. It's like a little triangle at the very top, and I'm gonna make that one go straight up. So I have these clumps, and then I'm gonna just kind of like lay them back and to the sides, and that way it's kind of just going like that. And that's from about here back. I just want things to fall like a waterfall. So right now we've got all the hair done except for this front, well, the top and the front. So now I'll do another section. And this is my bangs. I'm actually trying to grow them out because they're really inconvenient and I work out all the time and I'm always having to clip them up. So right now I'm just gonna clip these bangs with a smaller clip out of the way. This is the top of my head. Spray. And so I'm going to take little pieces of it, and I want this to kind of fall to the side, so I'm gonna do clumps right there. Basically, whatever direction you brush your hair is how it's gonna dry, so be very intentional. I kind of part my hair on the side right here, so I'm gonna just draw my finger, separate it right there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna brush this up and over. So I've got clumps going this way. And then this piece right here, I'm gonna cut into two because it's kind of thick. Clump, clump. So yeah, this takes a while, but it's worth it. And the more often you do it, the less work it feels like. And you can get really fast at it. All right, so now we're almost done with the clumping. You just have to be patient. And I have some curls that will like start out in one direction and then they'll switch directions halfway through, which is really annoying. So sometimes I'll just like, if I see a piece doing that, I'll just like twirl it in the way that it began to kind of make it finish off the same. Tiny bit for the front because you don't want the front of your head to be crusty. Once everything dries too, then you crunch out. You scrunch the crunch, if that makes sense. You just like get, you'll see. So the front is kind of weird, but I'll just up and over. Sometimes I literally go like that. And then if I want this piece to go out a little bit more, I'll go like that. And my hair always seems to go like this naturally, so. And I help out the bangs a little bit because this one always goes in curls in one direction, and then this one always curls in a different direction. A little bit of twisting. In order to get good at this, you kind of also need to figure out what direction your hair will naturally go. So you like, if you just let it fall and then you crunch it up like that, it'll usually tell you where it wants to go. So now we are all plopped, clumped and plopped. And then I take my diffuser. First, I'm gonna put these products away. Oh my God. This whole time, I was supposed to have this ring light on, and I just realized I never turned it on. Oh well. It's light enough in here. So what I do, I usually use the hot setting, but on low. And I start by just using these little teeth, and I grab and I push up so that the root is lifted. And I kind of hold it there for maybe like 8 seconds. So I do this to the root. I don't do it to any other part because it will make it frizzy. I like to listen to a podcast super loud so I can hear it over the blow dryer, or you can put earbuds in. Grab the back and push up. Basically, you want some root lift. That's what the diffusing does. You can let it air dry and then crunch it, but you won't have as much volume. This is the part where you have to be patient. When you feel like you're getting somewhere and it starts to feel kind of crunchier on the top. Ooh, looks like I got a mullet going on. You can flip your head upside down very gently, like this. And then do the back side. I do try not to touch any of the roots because if you blow dry it like upward, it can give you split ends. So I try to just avoid doing the bottom of my hair and only doing the top of my hair, and I let the bottom part dry naturally. So once this is all feeling kind of drier at the roots, your hair just is going to do what it's meant to do, and you'll get to know it. The more you do it, the more you'll get to know what works for your hair. But I have to be very gentle with my hair because it is baby fine, and the curls will come loose at the top, and then the bottom of my hair usually stays pretty curly, but if I fuck around with it too much, the top will start to get really flat. So right now, it's looking kind of voluminous, and it's kind of crunchy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it air dry for a little while if you need to do your makeup, for example, or you wanna make a snack, or whatever you need to do, just go do your dishes, I don't know. And then when it's feeling more dry, we're gonna come back and we're gonna scrunch out the crunch. Okay, we'll be right back. Hey guys, we have made it to the point where my hair is pretty much dry. I have this awesome mirror that I installed myself actually, so I can see the back of my head. And if you have, you know, like a medicine cabinet where it has 3 doors and the 2 open out like that, you can look and see the back of your head. I love those, but my apartment did not come with one, so I installed this myself. But anyway, what I like to do first is crunch the scrunch. I mean, scrunch the crunch, whatever. So yeah, just grab chunks of hair and push up on them, and kind of just get that crunch out. It softens it. And that way, it doesn't look like noodles anymore. And make sure you get the back really well. And then the next thing I do is put my fingers underneath to the root and just kind of shake it out from the root. Like that. So you get up in there underneath and just kind of like rake your fingers through just the root part and give them a good shake. Starting to look really good. Just kind of peel it off your head so that you don't have any hair sticking to your head. Oh, that was my stomach. And I just ate. I'm not even hungry. Okay, another thing I like to do is upside down. Don't flip it hard, but be gentle. Go upside down and kind of do the same thing to the top of your head. And be very gentle, not to rake out the curls. You don't want to rake your fingers through them because they'll get frizzy. So, there you are. You rake, you crunch, you plop, and then if you want to give yourself a little volume at the top too, you can also use a dry shampoo or a texturizing powder, or even a texturizing spray if you want. I find the sprays way down my hair because I have kind of fine hair, and the powders at the root will kind of help voluminize it. I don't even know if that's a word. There you have it. Sometimes the front of my hair does weird things, but usually I end up getting a few of these like curls in the front, and sometimes I'll pull them apart so that there's more than one. Kind of space things out a little bit. And there you have it. It should stay like this for a few days actually, and when I sleep at night, I take my hair and I put it up on the top like that, and I sleep with a pillow under my head, but the top of my hair goes over above the pillow, and I make sure that I'm not sleeping too far against the back of the bed. That way my hair has like space to just kind of lay behind, and then it stays good for days. And if you want a refresh, this product right here, the Soothe and Restore, is a good one. There you have it. And if your curls get really frizzy the next day too, you can spray them down with a little bit of water, and yeah, not bad. Done. It's the back of my hair. Sometimes I will look at the back of my head in this mirror just to make sure that I've kind of got all the crunch out and that my cowlicks aren't showing. There we go.